Hey, Jim Parr here from jimpar.com. Hit that notification bell in the corner right there and remember to subscribe to my channel. Hey, we're going to go through and teach you how to use Zoom in a safe way. So have all the protections and forget about all the media that they're talking about Zoom and not being safe. We're going to teach you 10 fundamentals to make sure your Zoom calls are safe as can be. So watch this. Hey, we're in the computer now, and I'm going to go through kind of the steps in setting up. And as you notice, I've got, I'm not showing my meeting IDs in here because I don't want people to get those. Those are things that you want to keep private. But I'm going to walk you through the top things, 10 things that you really need to know about keeping your Zoom meetings safe. We call something called Zoom bombs or Zoom bombing, and it's what they've been talking about on the media. And there's things people can hack into your Zoom meetings just by noting that meeting ID. They can start punching in different meeting IDs to really get in there. Understand that Zoom had about 10 million users and then went up to 100 million users in a matter of 30 days. So it doesn't take a lot of finagling with these numbers to figure out what that meeting ID is. But I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. So I'm in my Zoom. I'm just using the lower version of Zoom. I use the paid version just to keep it more secure. And but it's not necessary. You can do all this with anything you want. So basically what we would want to do is we want to password protect our meetings. So the first thing we're going to do is schedule a new meeting. So this is the settings to schedule a new meeting. And I really don't care if you see this meeting ID or password because I'm using this as an example. I'm just going to delete it afterwards. But we'll just call this my meeting, and we'll throw in the word COVID-19. You really want to put your class name in there, whatever the meeting's for. Maybe it's for your company, maybe it's for a class, maybe it's for teaching yoga. Put a short description in there. And then if you're going to set this up for recurring, you want to set your date in here. But let's go down to the first thing that we're going to talk about. Number one, you want to set a password. So right now in default, Zoom has changed things and they've got this automatically checked and they put a password in there. And that's what you want to do. You want to create a password for this meeting and make it something simple. It doesn't have to be, it just can be numbers or whatever you want to put in there. But keep it simple and something that people can remember from your company. And from time to time you might want to change that too. So as we go in here, we're going to automatically generate a meeting ID because we don't want to use our personal meeting ID because that's like my phone number for my Zoom account. I don't want to share that information. Otherwise, people can use my Zoom account. So we want to authenticate users. And basically by doing that, we want to go down here and only authenticate users that can join. Sign into Zoom. So we want to bring those people in. The other thing is, you may want to disable this. So keep this unchecked. And as you can see, Zoom has created a lot of options here for this. So we could enable the Zoom meeting before we want to keep it unchecked because we don't want people jumping into the meeting prior to us getting on, because that's where you could get somebody to jump in and Zoom bomb the meeting before you get on and start teaching. So mute participants upon entry. I always check this, but you just have to remember to uncheck it. But you want to lock down the meeting. And what I mean by that is to limit the people that are coming in. So you can have a course mute the participants and only authenticate users that can join. And so you want to control that. And maybe in the video part, you don't want the participants' video in there. So you just want the host. Maybe you're just teaching and that's the only person that should be on video, so there's no distractions, is the host. So you would shut the participants off. The other thing is randomly use a generated ID. So you may want to change this meeting after a few times. Maybe each month you want to randomly generate a new meeting idea. As I mentioned, you want to use the waiting room, and you just got to remember that when you start the meeting, you have to invite the people in that are sitting in the waiting room. I have a tendency to forget about those people, and then I'm like, where is that person? The other thing is avoid file sharing. There is some options, and I'm going to show you that we can go in there and do that. But I'm just going to start this meeting. We're going to save it. I'm going to start the meeting, and we'll let it fire up here, and I'll talk to you about the file sharing here. And as we get in here, let's let it fire up. Takes a few seconds to get going. So we're in the meeting, and let me just shut off my other video. It's not going to allow me to use the video because I've got video on my other one right now. So here's the deal. You can share different things in under advanced. You can do portion of screen, music and computer sound only, content from second camera. There's different things that you can set up. And so you can basically hide certain things that you don't want people to see. You can even pause the screen so that people cannot see you accessing a certain file. But when I talk about avoid file sharing, this is file sharing right here. So it allows you to go into Google Drive, Box, OneDrive, and share different files. So you can log in there. But they advise that that's where you could get malicious files. And you just want to make sure if you are sharing files that they're trusted files. That's the key thing here. And then the basics, you can use a whiteboard and different things like that. But let's just shut this off. And I want to show you as we go to manage participants, I can mute all, unmute all. I can also enable or disable the waiting room once we're in here. So I can play an enter and exit chime. So if somebody does come in here, I know that they entered the room or exited the room. And so we know when somebody jumped on. The other thing is, if you want to really keep things private, you can invite people and just put in their email address. So default email, Gmail, and put in their email address and basically just go in and invite those individuals privately. So basically that would be something to really lock things down. The other thing you can do is on participants, you can get rid of nuisance attendees. If they dropped in here, say they didn't have a name, you want to make sure that everybody puts their proper name in here. And but you can take care of that and get rid of those nuisance people. The other thing is check for updates. We use the desktop application, which is very important because in the desktop application, it allows you to update the software whenever you want to. So it is important to really set this up and check out my other videos on Zoom. I've got plenty of videos, how to stay safe, how safe is Zoom, tips and tricks. There's a lot of features in Zoom that you can use that we didn't touch on this. look at the video link below and you can see the playlists of different videos down there. Remember, hit that bell notification and subscribe below. And appreciate you guys watching.